I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Perfect. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We say that so many times that when you first start, sometimes it's like the national anthem, you sing and forget once in a while. Does that ever happen?
Sometimes you can slip a word.
All right, very good. You add one in. Okay, the minutes of March 15th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of March 15th? Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, do we have a budget amendment, 2023-05, Steve?
Yes, have two. That's to recognize $301,101 from the State of Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. That's for the community promotion account for the clean facility improvement on Chesapeake Boulevard.
Now, Steve, this money just came in, went right back out to clean?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, very good. We have a motion to accept budget amendment 2023-05.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next budget amendment 2023-06.
This is to recognize $247,000 grant from the State of Maryland Department of Natural Resources, and that was for the Parks and Recreation playground at the neighborhood community center.
And once again, we got this money and we paid for the equipment, and that was it.
That's correct.
And it's a very nice community center
Well, we
playground.
actually don't have the
I must say.
money yet, but we've gotten the grant, so we have to commit for the reimbursement.
Very good. We have a motion to approve budget amendment 2023-06.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next up, we have a proclamation, PE 4-2023. I'd like to call up one of my good friends, Mr. Jay Combs. Come on down.
Well, let's back to
Jay, how are you?
Good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, listen, on behalf of the mayor and commissioners of the town of Elkton and the 18,000 residents that we serve, right? Whereas Jay Combs and his family have called Elkton their home for over 30 years, and whereas Jay's experience in high school and college sports, as well as his participation in his son's sports activities, are the foundation upon which Jay built his career as a coach and a referee, and whereas Jay has volunteered as a referee for Elkton's Parks and Recreation basketball program for several years and refusing a salary, and whereas Jay clearly recognizes that the greatest investment in our youth is our personal time and attention. Now therefore, on behalf of the mayor, commissioners, and the citizens of Elkton, we hereby extend our sincere appreciation to this outstanding member of our community, witnessed, sealed upon by the mayor and commissioners on the 5th day of April.
Now let me come down there with
Come on down, you can come on down.
I like that.
Here, just put it here like that.
Okay. Yeah, but that,
Again on this side.
Yeah, it's trying to help you. Well, that's right.
Mary likes to get in pictures.
Mary, come on down. Come on, Mary. Come on down, Mary.
Mary loves getting in pictures.
Where do you go on this side, Mary? Here, squeeze right in there.
There you go.
You're welcome, Mary. I knew you would.
Got it. Put up, don't move. We have one more thing for, mayor to give to Jay. It's a challenge.
Go ahead, you.
I would like to say, on behalf of the town, mayor and commissioners, Jay has always been right there for any sport, volunteer, no volunteer, he's there with arms opened up to help out. But the thing is, Jay, he's been for years, ever since the 8th grade program. I can go back to, I don't know how many years, but over 25 years, I know Jay has been an excellent asset to the town of Elkton. Here's a challenge point for you to go on and keep on doing what you're doing for the next 30 years.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, good to see you. Appreciate you. I will. Thank you guys so much. Sam.
I can't understand, Jay, how you coach basketball and officiated basketball, and when he's in school, you couldn't make the team.
That's why I knew that. That's why I wrestled.
You sure did, and you were a very
Jay,
good wrestler.
give him one. Give him one.
That's great. Thank you, Sam.
Very nice. Okay.
So one thing I can say, Gibbons, he can join Rob's team because remember, he got picked the foot off.
I know. Jay and I could be on the same team, the wrestling team. Lou, you're on.
Okay, ordinance 2023, alarm devices. This was introduced at the last meeting and is here before the board to be adopted today. The ordinance has been changed except for adding the single fire company to it in terms of the provisions in this ordinance. I recommend that the board adopt ordinance 2-2023.
We have a motion to accept ordinance 2-2023, false alarms. It's being presented for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the false alarm ordinance? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, the other item, resolution R3 2023, this increases the charge by Public Works to cut grass, $300 per hour with a minimum of 2 hours, and along with a $30 administrative fee. I think before it was $150, but we're losing money, and we want to encourage the people who are responsible for cutting their grass to cut their grass rather than the town of Elkton.
I agree with it.
Recommend that resolution R3-2023 be adopted by the board.
We have a motion to accept resolution R3-2023, grass cutting fees.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
They were the two items I had.
For the alarm.
I don't think we need to sign that. Okay, report by me. Okay, I think that we can finally get our planning commission up to full staff. I'd like to appoint Mr. Paul Manuel to the planning commission for the term of April 5th, 23 to 3/31/2028. We have a motion to accept Mr. Paul Manuel.
There is a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on Paul? Just wanted to make everyone aware that Paul lives in Patriots Glen, and he's a VP at JP Morgan Chase. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, I have on my agenda, I have Michelle put a little note, but we got the ball moving on this. I wanted to bring the board up to date on, and I wanted to get all the information together before I presented it, but on May 15th, here at Town Hall, I want to have a kind of an economic development summit with the board. I'm going to invite all town staff, well, they have been invited, and we want to have some of the members of our economic development growth that we're going to be having. One in particular is Sideline Sports. I've invited the county. They're going to give us a little presentation on sports tourism. So it's some information that will hopefully start to fill some of the holes as we start to move forward. I know we still have a ton of questions with this. Where are we going? How is the town going to do this? Why are we doing it? And there is a lot of unknowns. But I think that if we can all get in the room together on May 15th, I think that we can start to work out these questions that we have and be able to move forward.
What time did you want to start that, Rob?
That would be a 9 a.m. meeting, and I'll have an agenda here shortly. I'm trying to get together the guest speakers. It was interesting as I was trying to put this together. The county government should have their feasibility study done on sports tourism also. So it's to work that with the feasibility that we just received, to see how they mirror up against each other and see where we're at as a community. I think it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it anyhow. All right, there's a couple, one, I wanted to congratulate the chief, a lady on the rock, there we go. In many ways, right? Always watching over the town. There's a great article. And I also wanted to mention that once we're finish up our town meeting, we're going to enter into a closed session. There's a couple of things that we need to discuss. One in particular was the collective bargaining agreement with the police department that we were working on, and then the other, John, we'll bring up yours in a closed session. Would that be better, or would you want to talk about it now, or does it matter?
I think that it's more appropriate in a closed session.
Okay,
At
very
least at this
good.
point in time.
So it's about, let's see, I got it here, a memorandum of understanding is what we'll have, we're working on. So with that, Gene, do you have anything today for the group?
No.
Charles?
I don't, but I do. We had a roaster the other night. I want to thank Commissioner Massimiano for directing that, and it was very good. Glad to be here, glad to support you.
Thank you.
Ditto. Earl?
Yes, first of all, I want to commend the chief also for a great article. Congratulate Mary for reaching out and getting the grant for the community center. Mary, don't get to holler at too much. Mary's sitting there small, shy little thing, but anyway, she's still doing work that needs to be done over there. And I do have one complaint from a few citizens is that corner sidewalk or whatever that is out here, I don't care how we label it, people keep running over. I just started mine running over just now coming in. Is there anything we can do to make that more visible? Right here at the corner of Bow and Ridge Street, you know what I'm talking about?
I hear what you're
A little island right at the corner of 7-Eleven.
Yes.
I know we put it in there and we had a cone there before. People do not see that.
Yeah, they turn it right.
Is there anything that can be, I'm asking some suggestions. Right here,
When they make a right, if they're southbound on North Street.
right when you turn here towards,
Yeah, they don't pull out.
a lot of people don't see it.
Is it a bush?
No bush, it's right on.
There's no bush there?
I can't explain it over there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a bump out.
It's a bump out, but it's,
That's part of the problem. People cut it too tight.
How about some commercial markers that stand up from the curb? Like permanent commercial markers?
I'm just bringing it out, whoever has the liberty to fix it or find a solution, that's, just bring that out on the table, because it's been an issue for a couple of days or more.
That's ours and not the county, correct?
Okay, that's it.
North Street is a state road, but railroad's out.
Okay, Rob, once again, I thank you for hosting that, the comedy roast. You did a great job as always,
Thank you.
and the floor is yours.
That was the 4th annual
comedy roast, and it went very well. It was done with very little time because there was a switch in the person being roasted, and I was very happy with the results, very proud of all the people that stepped up and prepared so quickly and did such a great job of roasting Anne Marie, which was very easy to do. The morning after the roast, I went down to the armory and I finally went into the room where I store the fishing equipment each year for the fishing rodeo. We have our 3rd annual fishing rodeo coming up. Team Elkton, everybody in town is involved in this, and I appreciate everyone's help, Mary. I counted, sorted, got an inventory on everything, and then I went out and bought everything that we were missing. A few poles were missing from last year. A lot of the tackle was missing. It's all been restocked, replenished, and is ready to go on the 22nd. I will need volunteers on the 22nd, and plenty of them. And that's all I have.
I wanted to mention the Little League Parade. I thought went very well. Went on Friday night. The board was there. It went very well. I had to sneak out as we took the turn back onto North Street, but I appreciate everyone from the board being there to support the Elkton Little League. I forgot to mention that on Monday, one of my good friends, the mayor of Salisbury, was appointed Secretary of Housing for the state of Maryland, and I was able to have a lunch with him at the in Perryville American Legion. But I can tell you, we actually have a friend in housing. It's not that often that you can really say that you know the secretary, right? So,
Where can we get from?
I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. But Jake Day is a very good person. He was a very good mayor of Salisbury, and he's a very good person. So,
He's a good guy.
very good person, yeah. That's all I have. This is the time of the floor. We open it up for anyone from the, we don't have any, yep. Open up the floor for anyone who has any comments for the good of the town. Oh, go ahead. Please state your name and address, please.
My name is Barbara Weiser, and I live at 410 North Street. And I brought up this topic once before, and the topic is the fence line that runs along the properties of people that live on North Street that backs up to the new community center. And probably a year ago, some of the neighbors and I requested, but I understood that the original plans called for a fence to be put up there, but it is never put up there. And now it seems to have gotten even worse. There's usually student-age people who are cutting from the community center through all of our backyards. I have pictures of all of our fences that are just pushed down, stepped on, and done everything too. Just this week, 5 high school age students who weren't doing anything wrong. I have to say they're not doing anything wrong. But I mentioned to them that this is private property. You shouldn't be walking through here. If anything should happen on this property, you guys are going to get blamed. And so they walked out and they are cutting through to go to the 7-Eleven. And 10 minutes later, they went right back and walked right back through the property, stepping on the fences. And then there was a single man, I doubt if he was a student, just looking at his age. And I mentioned to him, you're walking through private property, you shouldn't be walking through here. And he told me to F myself. And we've had young kids, this is what bothers me, younger people, and these, I'm going to call them characters who were walking through here cussing at us. They're cut right through that playground. I think it puts those children in some kind of danger. I think that the students, again, I believe they could get in some kind of trouble just cutting through the properties. They could get damaged or hurt on our fences that are now falling down and breaking. I have seen middle school age kids cut through there. and it's daily now, just daily. They come down with, like they're coming from the high school, they walk down the North Street Bridge, they come down and they just cut through whatever yard looks most convenient to them. And I mentioned to the kids, I was like, you guys are going over there to be athletic, walk around the block. But they just don't want to. And they just ignore you. They just ignore you. I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want any of our other neighbors yelling at them or starting anything or them yelling at us. And when I brought this up probably a year ago, I don't remember who, I was told that you would get an estimate on what the fence would be. I've never heard peep or anything from that.
Is your fence completely down?
Not all of it now, but probably half.
What type of a fence is it?
It's an older fence, but it was like a wire fence that was on wooden posts. And some people along there have chain link fence. And, you know, that has a pole that runs across the top of it. And I watched this kid, I mean, he just stepped on it and went over and he went right to that playground. Now that's hanging down into the playground side of it. That's dangerous for kids. And the young kids who see that, they might want to be climbing over the fences. But it's 406, 408, 410, 412, 414. 416, their fence is still very stable because their fence line goes all the way up to the back of the house, and they have a big dog, and the kids aren't going in that yard. But I'm concerned that someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get sued. And
Lou, can you get with Mary and take another look at that?
yeah, it
Well,
might.
we can't fix private property, but if the
No,
board
it-
authorizes the
not on private
expense,
property.
we could run a chain link fence down there with that, might be a multiple
Yeah.
thousands of dollars.
We don't want you to fix our fence. We just want something along the border of the community center. I believe it's going through Stockton Street. I can't see that from my house, so I don't
How's
really
the
know.
board feel? How do you guys feel? Should we have our community center enclosed in? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
It does.
And it makes sense to have it enclosed in or not?
I would like you to think about it and discuss it. It's for the safety of those kids, for the safety of us on North Street and on Stockton Street. And
I mean, we could put a
Mayor.
fence up, right?
To be honest with you, I'd like to go over there and take a look
Take a
at
better
the
look.
you're
area.
welcome to. I have brought
It sounds like
pictures.
we might want to do that, and then we would have to get some bids,
Yeah.
contractors.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we could probably put a fence around our property and try to deter the entrance point,
Right.
but I don't know how that's gonna stop them from walking through their property to get,
And I think that might be a challenge. Mary, you have any comment, any
yeah.
feelings or no feelings or?
I mean, I guess I can see a benefit of a fence at some point, but I just didn't want the whole property fenced in.
No, but along that back there,
That one line.
yeah, that one line and partially on Stockton Street. I don't think there's many on Stockton Street.
So if we build a fence along the line of the community center, it would prevent them from getting to your fence.
Correct, and prevent them from damaging what's left of our fences, because next to my house is Mr. Baltazar's property, and he's certainly not gonna fix any of that fence that's down. And that's been used, and I live right next to that, that's been used as a drug path I've been living there for more than 20 years. There's people that run back and forth with drugs through there. We find needles and little baggies and everything.
I will tell you that I'm going to ask the board to go out and take a look at it, and we'll get with our town administrator and we'll make a decision.
You're more than welcome to come.
Thank you.
And I have pictures and I can send them. I
And which
got
address?
permission from all my neighbors.
Which house is yours?
410.
I'm at 410.
Thank you.
very much
Thank
for
you.
considering it. And thank you for having a public meeting every time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, come on up.
Hi, Ray, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to talk to the commissioner about the event. For the volunteers, is that something we have to pre-sign up, or is it more of just like show up and volunteer, or how does that process work?
Just get a hold of me at the shop
Okay.
and give me a list of whoever's going to be there, and just show up the day of the fishing rodeo. It's going to be from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. I will probably show up around 7:30 and start getting things ready. So any of you can show up at any amount of time, any time slot during those hours. It would all be greatly appreciated. But just get a hold of me, and you want a card?
Yeah, sure.
And let me know who's going to come.
That's the 22nd.
Yes. There you go. You're welcome. Thank you.
I think they got it covered. Anyone else have anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton? Anyone on the Zoom meeting? All right. Well, I'd like to have a motion to have a closed meeting to discuss collective bargaining, negotiations, and consider matters related to this negotiation. And also, we're going to have to consult with our attorney on a agreement of sale.
So,
So we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries, and we will not reconvene